What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Kramer, and I'm a real estate investor and entrepreneur. In my previous YouTube video, I shared about my newest 3-unit portfolio acquisition and all the great numbers and things behind that deal. But in this video, I want to pull back the curtain and share everything that went wrong with the deal. Because trust me, it was a very messy process, and I couldn't fit that all into the first video, but I want to be transparent with you guys and share how messy of a deal it really was and the lessons I learned from it that you can take away too. So you don't have to go through the same pain that I did. So a quick recap for those who didn't see the previous video. I bought 3 properties from one owner in one acquisition. They're already occupied by tenants. I know the property super well because I co-hosted them, and I was really excited about the deal. I worked with the owner directly. I didn't have to use any realtors. I got a great deal on the property. It seems like a win all around. But of course, it wasn't, so let's talk about it. Problem number 1, the closing date chaos. The first real main issue came up, of course, one day before closing. The lender called me and said, "Hey, Bailey, we can't close tomorrow. We actually need to push this back 2 weeks." And just for more context here, the lender knew about the acquisition for about 60 days. So the fact that they told me a day before closing that they need to push it back 2 weeks was insane. Now, their reasoning for it is because essentially I was doing a refinance on a different property not related to these 3, and I was going to roll those funds into this. And when I told them about the refinance up front, they told me, yeah, no problem. We can do it in about 30 days. Well, a day before I was trying to buy these 3 and also refinance this one to roll into the 3. I know it's kind of confusing, but they told me, oh no, you have to wait 90 days from the day you bought the property to then refinance. And I've heard that from different lenders, but the way I structured this deal, I was confident, and they told me, I got confidence because they told me they could do it faster, and they didn't tell me that they couldn't until literally a day before closing. So I had to tell the seller. He was not very happy at all, to say the least. He's 1031ing his money into another deal. So he had to push his closing back 2 weeks, and it was honestly a nightmare. Luckily, the seller agreed and signed an extension for 2 weeks, and that was that for now. So problem number 2 is what I call the financing nightmare. So after the lender said, hey, we just need 2 more weeks, but you're good to go. You know what? At least they're going to do it. It's just 2 weeks later. It's not the end of the world. Well, a couple days later, they call me and they say, hey, Bailey, we're not sure if we can actually finance these at all. And I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, yeah, since you were the co-host for these properties, it's technically not an arm's length transaction. And we don't know if our lender is going to let us do it. So they said, we're going to let you know tomorrow. Well, then tomorrow came, they said, we need another day. We need another day. And it was not a week-long time frame where they didn't know if they were going to be able to finance it at all. And remember, from the day they told me they could finally close, it was going to be a 2-week time frame. And they spent about a week letting me know they're not sure if they can actually do it. So during that week, what I did is I picked up the phone and I called pretty much everybody that I know, and also random people that I literally found on the internet, and was looking for a private money loan where someone could lend me the whole purchase price. I could then just buy the properties cash and then refinance out in 30 to 90 days. Now, it was definitely a very stressful period of time, which was about, again, a week, because I wasn't sure if I needed to use an investor or lender, or if these people were going to come through for me. And even though I had money lined up to buy the properties cash after the whole lender ordeal, the interest that these people were charging was dang near criminal. So I was really not wanting to pay it, but luckily my lender came through at the end and they were able to finance it. Okay, nightmare number 3 was the surprise repair. So about 2 days before closing, I got a call from the lender, and they said, hey, Bailey, did you fix the siding yet? We need it before we close. And I'm like, what do you mean? And they said, yeah, you're required to fix one piece of siding or else we cannot close the loan and we need a picture of it. And I'm like, you guys never told me that. And we got these appraisals back like 2 months prior. So that was just another annoyance because I had to send out my handyman very last minute. He was there within an hour, fixed it, and everything was fine. But you don't want to know about surprise repairs 2 days before closing. And this was actually on a Friday when I got the notice, and I had to close on Monday. So technically a couple days, but they needed proof before closing. So it was like a whole ordeal. Okay, now problem number 4, and this was the cherry on top. This was the biggest nightmare, so my closing was scheduled for a month, okay? It's supposed to be Monday morning. I was supposed to sign for the refinance in the morning and then do the purchase of the 3 properties right afterwards. And I talked to my lender on Thursday. The lender actually called me and said, hey, Bailey, this is super strange, but your title company wants to make sure that all the documents are in their hands by Friday at 4 p.m. And I'm like, well, yeah, because closing's Monday, so they needed the documents by Friday night. I mean, it kind of makes complete sense. And she was all flustered by it. So I said, well, get it done. And she was trying her best to move it forward. And then Friday goes by, and I'm basically waiting all day to get an update from either the title company or the lender to say, hey, we got the documents in for you. And 4 p.m. comes on Friday. I get a call from the title company, and I'm thinking, they got the documents in. She calls me and she goes, hey, Bailey, just to let you know, I just spoke to your lender. And I'm like, okay. They have not gotten the documents in yet, but I gave them an extra hour to get them in by 5 p.m. And if they get them in by 5 p.m. on this Friday, we can close on Monday. And I said, all right, well, I'm going to sit here and pray because, again, I had no control. Everything was done on my end. It was just the lender reviewing stuff. So an hour goes by. It's now 5 p.m. on a Friday. I get a call from the lender. They said, hey, Bailey, here's the situation. The lender has still not given us the documents. So here's the plan. On Monday morning, if I walk into the office at like 6 or 7 a.m. with the documents in my email, we can close at like 9 a.m. that day. And if they don't send us the documents Monday morning, right when I walk in, we just literally cannot close on Monday. And I said, okay. So the weekend goes by, didn't hear anything from anybody. No one really works on the weekends in this industry, I guess. And then Monday morning rolls around. I woke up at 5:30 like I always do. Didn't hear anything. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, didn't hear anything. Finally, at like 8 o'clock in the morning, I get a call from the title company and they said, hey, we're good to go. We got everything. I got an official email from them, and I got a message from the notary that they were coming in about an hour and a half. So luckily, again, they were able to come through. I did purchase these properties successfully, but it was not easy. So a couple takeaways that I learned. Number one, I've used so many different lenders in my career so far, and I have not been fully satisfied with really any of them. Sometimes like 1 or 2 deals are okay, and then they completely fall off the track and I'm really just another number to them. Because of that, I am highly, highly, highly considering starting my own lending company that I can do DSCR loans and hard money loans, all the things that I need, but actually delivering good service to people, because what's out in the industry right now is absolutely insane. The second lesson I learned is always having backup op. Having cash investors ready to go on moment's notice definitely calmed my nerves, because when I made that commitment to buy these 3 properties from the seller, I was buying these no matter what. If my lender backed out, I had backups. And I didn't have backups right away. I had to find backups and scramble, but now I know for next time, always, always, always have backups. The third thing is always communicate with the seller and just be open and transparent. Now, I was sharing everything with the seller as soon as I heard from it, except when the lender told me that they might not be able to finance it at all. At that point, I already made the commitment to the seller. I was buying his properties. I had those cash options available. So he didn't really need to know and be stressed out for no reason. But if there's something that's important for your seller to know, let them know. One more bonus lesson and problem that I encountered is the settlement statement. I was initially shown to put $77,000 down on these 3 properties combined. And the day of closing, when I got the official settlement statement, it was $88,000. So again, another fault of the lender for not having all the stuff in order. But lesson learned is to always have additional cash on hand, because you're going to need it. And lastly, as real estate investors, you need to be prepared for curveballs. Nothing goes perfectly. Nothing goes according to plan most of the time or every time. So having backup options, being prepared, being ready, and being flexible is super important. And at the end of the day, I did close these deals. I own these 3 properties now, and I cannot wait for my next deal. If you're buying properties, or if you're looking to buy properties, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.